There's an hour of daylight. That means I should probably be earning money somewhere.
One of my investments sold for $165 million.
Probably 250-ish.
Little over six figures a year.
Couple $100,000.
I make about $75,000 a year.
We got an election coming up. We have a 2024 election coming up. We got an election coming up. 2024, next president of the United States. Who are you going with 2024? Who's going to be the next president? We're back in Beverly Hills, California today, and there's a lot of millionaires walking around. Today, we're going to ask them the usual, what they do for work, how much money do they make, and who are they voting for to become the next president of the United States of America? Who are you voting for? Leave a comment below. Let's get this video started.
Yeah, legend status, ask about the name. I've been putting in work, collecting the fame. Up in the stat while they watching the 10 in the game. Either do it or just a critic, man, we ain't the same. I'm focused on making this history into my top 5. List is listing me. I never got an L on pass, this ain't no breeze. I had to make the workout last, the bill of steam.
Excuse me, do you mind answering a few questions for the YouTube channel?
Sure, why not?
So what do you do for work?
I'm not sure. I guess I'm a serial entrepreneur. I invest in companies, real estate. A main focus company is a marketing company.
What would you say is the most amount your companies has done in a single year, revenue-wise?
One of my investments, my major investments where I was a main principal, sold for $165 million about 15 years ago.
I'm also curious. We got an election coming up, right? President of 2024, right? Who are you going with this election?
In this area, well, we are in the West Coast. Everybody is Democrat, but unfortunately, I love the Republican Party. I love the platform that they have. I'm not crazy about this woke ideology that they're pushing forward, the immigration, the illegal immigrants, and those kind of stuff. So I'm voting for Trump.
Why Trump? Like, just for the audience watching.
Well, for me, he is a straight shooter. I love the fact that he's blunt and upfront about everything. He's crass and he has his own downside that he could people the wrong way. So I fully grant that. He really stands for America and the future of America and taking us back to a time there we were thriving and we didn't have a lot of this strange, extreme radicalism, left ideology.
What would be your advice or what actionable steps would you recommend somebody to take in 2024 to become a millionaire like yourself?
Well, you know, as an entrepreneur, I've seen any business can become extremely successful. But the principles that people have to watch for is really where people can go the wrong way. And the main principles that I have seen work is you need to have a good customer acquisition policy, you need to have a good retention policy, you need to have, obviously, deliver a high quality service. And if you can make it scalable by creating a residual side to the business, so it's a recurring revenues with it, then that's the ideal scene. A lot of people in my community do real estate, and they're very successful in real estate because it has a lot of those elements in there, right? But you can do it almost with any business. If you find an angle where you can create it into residual income, recurring income, and then you can retain that principle without having to constantly search for new customers.
I love it. Thank you so much, Majid, for your time. I appreciate you stopping.
My pleasure.
Excuse me, sir. How you doing, man? Would you mind answering a couple questions for the YouTube channel?
Absolutely.
So what do you do for work?
I'm a firefighter and I'm an entrepreneur.
Do you own your own business as well?
Yes, I own a bunch of baby businesses.
What would you say is the most amount of money you've made in a single year?
Probably 250-ish.
What would you say is like some advice? Like how can you get to be making $250K a year?
Well, for my first job in my career, show up every day and do your best, do your most outstanding work that you can do. And that trans over to my entrepreneurial career as well. Show up, do the best you can do every day, and keep cranking out content.
So you have a YouTube channel yourself?
Yes, I do have a YouTube channel. It's called Intellect. So AI and intelligence mixed together. I just started it. I think I have like 1,000 viewers. So,
You got to start somewhere, man.
start
Yeah.
somewhere.
We got an election coming up. Who you going with to be the next president of the United States?
Kamala Harris by far,
For the audience watching, like, why Kamala?
because she's not Donald.
Thank you, thank you. Excuse me, sir. How you doing, man? Would you mind answering a couple questions for the YouTube channel?
Yeah.
What do you do for work?
I own a furniture company called Mike Discount Couches in Dallas, Texas.
A furniture company?
Yes, yeah.
Wow, first time furniture company. That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
So you're from Dallas. Okay, so you're not from Rodeo Drive.
Oh no, I'm visiting my wife's first time being in California, and I was stationed here a long time ago. I was a United States Marine in 29 Palms, hours from here. But this is the first time I ever been on Rodeo Drive. It's nice out here. So,
First time on Rodeo. Oh man, well welcome, man, welcome. Dude, we have a 2024 election coming up, man. Who you going with 2024?
I'm going for the right president who can run our country right. It's all about who can do the best for everybody who's here. The citizens are here. So no matter who's the person in the job, whether it's Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, whoever the best person for the job, that's who I believe that should be the candidate for it. But long story short, Trump. I'm leaning towards.
And why Trump? Just so the audience can understand.
Well, not just that. He's strong on the border. Like I said, I'm from Texas, and strong on the border who can actually do better business for our country and who actually has experience running the country. I don't agree with everything a politician says, this candidate says, but as long as they do the right thing for the American people, that's what I'm about.
So what was the most amount of money you've done in revenue in your furniture business?
Oh man, I've been doing it for a couple of years. I think the most I ever did was a little over 6 figures a year. I'm still very new. You got to understand how the tax system works. That's why I live out in Texas. So it's no state taxes. So you got to understand that, and you got to keep going and keep believing in yourself. And I love working for myself. So.
I love that, man. And what would you say is like, you were in the Marines, right?
Yeah. Yes,
So you have been through a lot of discipline along your journey.
Yeah.
You're obviously in great shape, dude. I mean, I
I'm
want to
good.
get strong like
I don't
you,
know
man.
about that, but I try to maintain. I'm 39 years old. I do my push-up, sit-up, and try to eat decent. But I still love good food. I'm a Southern boy, so I try to maintain a good diet and this and that. But yes, joining the Marines made me a man in life where I'm from, and I'm stationed in 29 Palms. And you guys know where that's at in Southern California here.
What would you say is the best business advice you've gotten along your entrepreneurial journey?
Man, stay out of debt, man. I read a lot of books. I read Dave Ramsey. I read, The Richest Man in Babylon. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, and staying out of debt, living below your means. That's a big deal. Really love what you do. Love what you do. Have fun doing it, and the money will be there. Do right by people, and they'll do right by you. So that's what I believe.
Thanks so much for your time, man.
Hey, man.
How you doing, sir? Do you mind answering a couple questions for the YouTube channel?
Sure. What you got?
What do you do for work?
I work in human resources.
Oh, that's awesome, man. How long you been doing that for?
Long time, ever since I got out of the military, for about 20 years, almost 20 years.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you.
What was like, how much money can you make working in human resources?
It just depends on what area, because there's many different facets of human resources. So you have, working in the private sector, and you also have working in within the government. So it just depends on how many years you've had in and what area of human resources that you work in.
You could probably make that in it for a long time, 6 figures maybe.
Oh yeah. After years of experience and stuff, but yeah, no, most definitely.
Awesome. And what is like the requirements? Like, what do you need to get into human resources? Like, what's the roadmap?
Well, it really, like I said, it just really depends. Different companies require different experience, so to speak, and everything. You can start off by getting your bachelor's in human resources. That'll kind of start your path along the way. But then there's other ways you can get certifications in human resources. It just depends on what the company requires.
So we got an election coming up, man. Who you going with 2024? Who's going to be the next president?
The answer that everybody wants to know, whatever. I'm definitely for Kamala Harris and everything. I'm definitely pulling for her.
Why Kamala? Just for the audience watching.
I definitely like her policies and her focus and her plan that she has for the country. I know she was kind of thrusted into it, so to speak, with President Biden dropping out of the race and everything, but I definitely feel her policies is going to benefit us the most. Now, don't get me wrong, Trump does have some policies that are beneficial, but I think for the overall betterment of the country, I'm definitely pulling for Kamala.
What would be like some last piece of advice? So like for the 17-year-old, 18-year-old watching, man, like how can they get successful like you, man? You know what I mean? Like what would be your advice?
But just stay focused. Stay focused. I think the biggest thing is always having a plan. Your plan, you may get derailed, so to speak, but as long as you always have a plan, you stick to that plan, your success is going to take you as far as your drive will take you.
Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you.
Would you mind answering a couple questions for the YouTube channel today?
Sure.
So what do you do for work?
Sales. I have a couple small businesses and always looking for more. Pretty much if there's an hour of daylight, that means I should probably be earning money somewhere.
That's awesome, man. And what would you say is like the most amount of money your companies have generated in revenue per year?
I've done fairly well before. I mean, I've done up in a couple $100,000, but nothing spectacular, but I keep trying.
What would be your advice for somebody who wants to make that money like yourself and wants to achieve success in 2024?
Keep trying, keep looking. And like many have said before me, don't take no. That's really it. It's a confidence that you have to have that I'm going to make it work.
We got an election coming up, 2024, next president of the United States. Who are you going with? I see the Trump flag.
Oh yeah, I'm Trump for sure.
For the audience watching, like, why Trump?
You don't have to be in love with Trump to vote for Trump. You have to look at the bigger picture behind it. And out here doing some political merchandise, the stories that I hear from people that come from all over the globe, different countries, that one of the main things they will say to you is, if they're fresh over here, is, don't you see what's happening? This is how it starts. This is what they did to us. And they came from countries that went dictator or communist. People literally almost like confess and of their stories to me, and it's so heartfelt that it's like seeing behind the curtain. Once you've seen behind the curtain, that's all there is. You can't go back.
Gotcha, man. Well, thanks for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Would you mind answering a couple questions for a YouTube channel?
I don't mind at all.
What do you do for work?
I'm an air conditioning technician.
How long you been doing that for?
About 12 years.
How can you become an air condition technician?
Well, first, you probably need to go somewhere where it's hot.
That's a start, yeah.
Like Texas, where I'm from.
And how much money can you make working as an air conditioning technician?
Right now, I make about $75,000 a year.
We have an election coming up. Who are you going with 2024?
Oh, well, the choices is not really good, so I might not even vote this year.
You're not even gonna vote, really? Well, if you had to choose one.
Oh, Donald Trump.
Why Trump?
You probably need a strong leader. With all the stuff that's going on right now, and I don't think Harris is really ready right now.
What would be like a last piece of advice that you have for the young aspiring entrepreneur?
Don't quit. Keep going.
Don't quit, period. Love it.
Whatever you're doing, don't quit. Keep going.
I love it, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Y'all have a good one.
How's it going, man? Do you mind answering a couple questions for the YouTube channel?
Yeah.
So what do you do for work, man?
Well, I'm D Gore. I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm an R&B artist.
That's awesome, man. And you said you're also on YouTube, right? Or you have a TikTok?
Yeah, I got 2 different YouTube channels, Official D Gore and D Gore TV. D Gore TV is like a vlog page. I kind of show you the behind the scenes of the making of like a up-and-coming artist. And then my actual main page is where I post like all my artist content and stuff like that.
That's awesome, man. How many subscribers, how many followers do you have?
Close to like 5 million on all social media platforms.
5 million. Wow.
Yeah.
Dang, man. Well, this is motivation, man.
Thank you.
That's
Appreciate
amazing.
you. Yeah.
Well, so what would be your advice for somebody starting out and wants to grow their social media following?
I would say first is jump in and figure it out as you go. And just stay consistent for find what your lane is, and then just keep going with that.
How much money can you make, or what was the most amount of money you made in like a single year, everything combined?
I wouldn't say exactly how much I made, but honestly, if you invest your time into social media and you love what you do and you enjoy doing it, you'll see the results and positive results for sure.
I mean, you can make like 6 figures a year on Instagram. I mean, on YouTube and doing it
Yeah, for sure. You
consistently.
could definitely make a nice living off of social media and stuff like that if you take it serious.
So we got an election coming up, man. Who you going with 2024? Next president?
I don't really politic, I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't really do too much in politics, but I do have a single coming out. It's called Peace. The world needs peace, man. So y'all go get that.
Oh, I like that, man. Well, dude, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate your time, man.
Likewise,
Thank you so
bro.
much. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you got value out of this video. Please like, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.